Welcome to the Recipe Entertainment Podcast. I am your host, Red. Today, well, depending where you're watching this, if you're watching this on Patreon, it's a week out. If you're watching this on YouTube, it is the week of. Either way, we made it, y'all. We so close to Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, a game that has been, asked for from Nintendo fans since Metroid Prime 3. Everybody who played Metroid Prime 3 and loved that game wanted more FPA Metroid. And we understood when Retro was tapped out and was like, look, we're going to do something completely different. We're going to do Donkey Kong. And then they did that masterfully. And they created my favorite Donkey Kong games, still to this day. And now they're back. They're back, right? Those who remain, those who join the team, we got a brand new evolution of Metroid, but also a brand new evolution of the developers of this Metroid. And clearly you can see that the talent and the skill set that we loved about their games on GameCube level hardware. That was the last time we saw a prime game, a proper prime game, not chibi prime on 3DS and Federation Force, a proper Metroid Prime game. I mean, the last time we saw Silex was on the damn DS, on the DS, 3DS era of systems. Like, how long ago was that? You know what I'm saying? Either one. It's crazy that it's taken this long to get here, but we finally here. And I will say this comfortably: I will never, ever anticipate a game like I did this one. This topped everything. I remember starving for Prime, because of that 8-year wait between Super and Prime. And I just wanted to see Metroid have its Ocarina of Time Mario 64 moment. I remember anticipating Ocarina of Time like no other, and every single delayed hurt. I remember every screenshot that ever appeared and seeing the game go from so many different iterations in Nintendo Power was back in the day. And it was just always like, man, is this game ever going to come out? And when it did, it was such it was one of the greatest moments of all time when it comes to this entire medium, and it was the catalyst for so much, creativity. It was a time where games were still, evolving and revolutionizing, so many aspects of the medium. And Metroid Prime, what it did for first person games, it's special in the same way like a Half-Life is special. You know what I mean? It was one of those first person games that wasn't just a regular first person shooter. It wasn't trying to be GoldenEye Perfect Dark. It wasn't trying to be Halo. It was, this is a game from this perspective, like, Fallout or something like that. And we're just going to do something completely different. Something that, no pun intended, goes beyond anything that we've previously done. And I'm talking about as a medium, and so many things would be taken from this game and so many things wouldn't be taken from this game. So the wait for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond was made that much worse because it was almost like a fan of this specific kind of game. You were looking for bits and pieces of it throughout the last 20 years, and you found them. You found them in indie games. You found them in big AAA games. You know what I mean? Like, great things were done by Respawn with, their Star Wars games in the realm of what Metroid is. But still, there's always so many missing elements because, well, Samus just does so much as a character. The character she is based on game design. Her abilities and everything, like you're seeing right now. Those moves, that skill set is always, unique in the sense of this genre because it's her in this game. It's just like it goes hand in hand. Her with the IP is like the giant mazes, and then what you can do in those mazes, how many different variety of puzzles you can make. It's because of how just varied she is as an actual character. Such a unique character, such a great video game, and one that we always wanted to win so bad and we're always so sad. And we even understood when we were in the 20-year, hiatus of it all, like why we were here. We understood that, and we were always hoping, like, hey, maybe it'll happen again. We hoped and we dreamed, but it was the same thing with 2D Metroid. We all wanted Metroid 5. We all wanted just more Metroid, and we got it with Dread. And Dread was, to me, the perfect, Metroid experience, and it being the mainline adventure and not being on a handheld. You know what I'm saying? Like Metroid 2, like a Metroid Fusion, or even Super, because Super at the time that we got Fusion, it was basically you're talking about now you're playing with handheld power. Because we was on 64 GameCube. It was like, yeah, that's now what the handhelds do. You know what I'm saying? Like we got Game Boy Advance, creating full blown Zelda adventures just like the consoles used to do. So that became the handheld games. And they brought Dread to the console and just made it incredible, fantastic, unique. And in the ocean of so many, Metroidvania games, it still stands out. And what makes it stands out for me personally, and what makes it my favorite Metroidvania out of all the ones I played, from Hollow Knight to the Guacameles of the world to probably my creme de la creme when it comes to Metroidvania games is the Ori games. Those are up there. Axiom Verge. Like, there's a lot of good Metroidvania games, but the way it felt to play Metroid Dread still was my favorite out of all of them. With probably Will of the Wisp right there with it. Right in gameplay, in move set, department was right there with it, I would say. But yeah, Dread was just, and it being Metroid IP that I'm super fond of course. That game for me was everything super special, and then it went on to, it caught the gift. You know what I'm saying? That is the Nintendo Switch, and it became the best selling entry in the series. And now we got Metroid Prime 4 coming out. Finally, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And basically, what I'm going to do is just talk about this game right now, because this is pretty much one of the last times I'm going to speak on this game, more than likely, before I'm actually speaking on it from the perspective of a person who played it for over 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? And then decide, all right, yeah, now it's time to press record and give y'all my thoughts beyond me playing the game and things like that, streaming it. This game, it's just it's like, yo, I'm just like, it's a sigh of relief. Like, I'm happy we here. I don't care how it goes, because at the end of the day, you got to understand. Like, I look at this, right, and I just say this is the best Metroid has ever looked. Not just because of the hardware it's on, but I mean the art direction, character models, Samus's, design, everything. Like, but even beyond that, like, the actual things that are happening are some of the most beautiful, coolest set pieces we've ever seen in the entire series. Not, I'm saying straight up, this is the best stuff we've ever seen. And it really does feel like, if I had to take a guess, Nintendo is promoting this game. I'm gonna use Ocarina of Time as an example. We all know Ocarina of Time. We all know the beginning. We all know the twist when you pull out the Master Sword and the time jump happens. We all know this, right? So before the time jump happens, before you get bamboozled, right, by Ganondorf, I think if you were comparing this game to Ocarina, that's all we've seen for this game. I feel like we've seen, oh, look at the motorcycle. Like, yeah, there's a Hyrule Forest, but they didn't really show us much other than that. It's like, oh yeah, you could ride around on your horse, but other than that, it's like mostly, and not even that. Like I gotta be clear. They showed you in the, let's say in the promotional material for Ocarina of Time, they showed you young Link on a horse, basically like lying, like like the intro of Majora's Mask and all that. It's just young Link on the horse. So you didn't even see adult Link. They kept that all hidden. That's what it feels like. Like, they're keeping the other side of what they've been promoting hidden, and it's teases to this. Like, this could be a tease to it. The big catalyst moment of, this is the Temple of Time, and then something happens and da da da. Like, I just feel like we've only seen the beginning, and then once we think, oh, we're comfortable with the game, there's gonna be a Ocarina of Time style moment. That Link to the Past style moment where, oh, here's the Dark World. Now things change, but more so Ocarina, because that jump to becoming an adult and everything was like, yo, that was crazy. And yeah, we knew about it, going in, but imagine not knowing. That's what I'm saying. It feels like with this game, like it's you can see that they've purposefully chose to, yeah, they'll highlight these different areas. They decided to not, show too much. And some people feel like they're showing a lot. I think they're not showing anything. And with all that being said, of them not showing anything, in my opinion, I think what they've already shown is the most promising a Metroid game has ever looked. You know what I'm saying? Going into it. And that's amazing. And that's exactly what I wanted. And this is a Metroid game. When I look at it, I go, this is the one that could potentially live up. Already from the outside looking in, it looks like it lives up to the comparison. Just look at the imagery there, to Alien, more than any of the other games in the series. Because for the first time, Alien, the movie, had a giant cast in there. You know what I'm saying? Not giant, but you get what I'm saying. There was a whole group of people in that movie, a whole cast, and there was a lot of moving parts. And this is going to be a game that's like that. Even though we're going to stick basically, with Ripley most of the time, and in this case it being Samus, you're going to have all your different moving parts. And that's awesome because it feels like it's Alien 1, it's Aliens, you know what I'm saying? Like it's Alien 2, like that's awesome to me. But it's that game that you're gonna have your soldiers and other people, around, the people you want to save, people you're gonna be, hoping to survive, like, rooting for, like, yeah, I hope that person makes it. If they go over there to go do something, like, yeah, you gotta go over there and I gotta go do this over here. Cause I'm, Samus Aran alone, bounty hunter. I'm gonna go do what I do. So yeah, good luck. I'll see you on the other side. Like, and you're gonna hope, like, yeah, I hope it goes well. I hope Silex don't pop up and ruin these characters' day. Not only that, there's Metroids out there, infecting all kinds of things. So who's to say that one of these can Metroids connect with technology? Because that giant robot, Federation AI soldier, whatever it is, that thing, if it could connect with that, which I would assume it can, because I mean, we see Metroid do a lot of things with technology. I mean, Mother Brain was that AI, so yeah, I could see it like taking that machine and now you got to fight that giant robot, which, I mean, that robot really does look like the villain from RoboCop 2. The imagery of that robot, but it's beautiful. Like, I'm just excited for all of it. I'm excited that it's so different, so unique, so new. Like nobody who's played the game has, even went vroom vroom on Viola yet. So it's like, sure, people gonna get to play it now, and there's gonna be reviews and things like that before the game comes out. But it feels almost like we're all gonna experience it at the exact same time, and that's awesome. Let me know also, where you gonna actually play this game, because this game is coming out on two different systems. First time a Metroid game is releasing day one on two different systems. I wouldn't say two different ecosystems, but at the moment, I mean, it's definitely still one where the last generation audience is still making the transition to this new generation of Nintendo. So you got, you know, whatever number of Switches you got out there by the time this game comes out. I mean, think about it. It'll be Black Friday, after Black Friday when the game comes out. So I don't know where to put the Switch. Do I put it at, do I put the Switch 2 at 15 million, 20 million? I don't know. But let's be nice and let's just say 15 million. Like, so you got a 15 million install base of new players. Many are gonna get the console and they'll probably be like, "Oh, I just got it and I want the Mario Kart." That exists. And that audience will probably wait or probably get a Mario Kart like game, like Mario Party, Animal Crossing, in a few months, get that whole upgrade and everything. So listen, there's always gonna be different audiences of Nintendo fans, different pockets. There's some who buy the Nintendo system for your Zelda, for your Pokemon, for your 3D Mario, Donkey Kong, Metroids, and Xenoblades. There's no, it's who's buying it right now, who got it, so what it's gonna sell on Switch 2, and the Switch 1 owners out there, Like, are they gonna just buy it right now and be like, yeah, I'm gonna play the hell out of it, and then when I get my Switch 2, I'll upgrade it and then play the hell out of it again. Now, even better, probably, in 120 frames per second and all that. Like, why not? So yeah, it's interesting to see where it's all gonna, land at the end of the day, like, oh, where all the pieces is going for, because it's the most weirdest Metroid. Has a Metroid game ever came out at this time? I don't think so. I mostly remember August. Maybe there was something in November, maybe, but I mostly remember August being like the thing with Prime. I do remember playing Metroid Prime 2 and Resident Evil 4 at the same time, and so maybe that was probably the full Metroid I'm thinking of. But anyway, yeah, like I just hope that the game does really, 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 really well. I hope it does well wherever Metroid fans are. You know what I'm saying? Whether they are on Nintendo Switch One, Nintendo Switch Two. I don't want it to be even a thing like, oh yeah, it just sold the best on Switch Two, whatever, and it sold like 3 million there, and it sold 500,000 copies on Switch One. That would suck because there's 150 million Switches out there. You know what I'm saying? So I would hope that people will be like, you know what, holiday. Because look, I'm not thinking about first week. I'm not even thinking about first month. I'm thinking about a year from now. I'm thinking about so if you think beyond the actual launch, there's people getting gift cards and all of that. You know what I'm saying, for the holidays. And so hopefully those will turn into, Prime 4 Beyond purchases, because it's landing right around it. You get the gift card. You're like, what's the hottest new thing out? Everybody's talking about this. It's like, yo, let me get that Metroid. You know what I mean? So it all works out, because I've heard a little bit of, you know, the takes of, oh, it's coming out after Black Friday, so that's a horrible thing. And I'm like, no, it's not. Melee came out after Black Friday. So did Pikmin 1 originally. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it'll be fine. Like, games come out all the time after Black Friday. A bunch of Xenoblade games, then they come out around literally the exact date of Metroid. I think Xenoblade either 2 or 3 dropped around December like 3rd or 4th. So it could work out. And I think the Xenoblade audience, let's say the Xenoblade audience is a completely new audience of people who came from Dragon Quest, who came from Final Fantasy, who came from, I don't care, name your favorite RPG, and decided, oh yeah, I started getting Nintendo consoles more because of the Xenoblade games on the Wii. We fought for that to come, Operation Rainfall. Then they actually finally came out, played it, loved it, and then, yeah, it's, the rest is history. But in between that, there's only been one Metroid game that really came out where those people can be like, oh yeah, let me play that. You know what I mean? But there hasn't been one like this that matches more the vibes of a Xenoblade, right? Because this is a bunch of characters. This is listen, this is a Japanese American game. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have your flavor of your your epic Japanese. You see it with the damn Akira slide on the motorcycle. So you're gonna get your Japanese flavor in there. You're gonna get your North American flavor in there. And hopefully that audience, like, who loves Xenoblade, those games sell 1, 2, 3 million copies. You know what I'm saying? The DLCs do crazy well. Hopefully we get some DLC for this game. Yeah, I hope that they show up for this game, because I feel like Nintendo has built an audience now that plays a lot more than just the oh yeah, I'm gonna buy a console and I'm gonna just play Wii Sports. Like, for as great as the Wii was and all its sales, and the DS, I always give those two consoles so much credit. They're like the last consoles that ever actually try to be super unique. And obviously Nintendo sold, I mean, the most hardware anyone's ever sold for a single generation with those two devices combined. Like, all the credit in the world to them. But clearly not the 3DS as much, because the 3DS was selling all kinds of games, everything. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of games. But the Wii had a problem of selling what we would call, core experiences. And your Just Dance was, going crazy. You know what I'm saying? And something like, hey, Just Dance is still going crazy to this day. A new one is about to come out or something like that. So, like that started there. But, it was a lot of that. But the Nintendo Switch, it felt like, yeah, okay, that grabbed the core audience. Like, that ate in Japan, it definitely ate all of PlayStation's food. Like, so we'll see. It's a different landscape. that this game is coming out into. So I'm thinking about that as we get closer to launch. It's a completely different, Nintendo. But man, look at this game, yo. Let's talk about this game real quick. It's stunning. The art direction is fantastic, and this is why I say like it's some of the best imagery I ever seen. These psychic abilities, upgrades to the powers we had. Like I saw the morphball bomb. Like you drop that, but then you go into psychic mode, so then you could grab that, pick that, throw that over there in order to use it to open doors, and that's awesome. Like all of that to me is awesome because it's like, what are and that's something that I was literally asking for in previous videos. Listen, there's a playlist right there on the channel, my Metroid collection. Check it out. There's a bunch of videos where I'm, hoping for all kinds of things that actually ended up in the game. But yeah, building on our old, what do I call it? Our old inventory, let's just say, adding to that, putting some swag on that. Like I felt like it was time. It's nice that they're actually doing it. They're actually doing it. They're evolving. Even Traversal, you know what I'm saying? Look, we got a vehicle in these goddamn mines in these corridors, right? Like that was crazy. Like they're really taking what was already there, it seems, and building on it. That's why I think that you're gonna get things so early from the actual Federation soldiers, like the usual stuff, because and I think you start this game with your morph ball, your boost. You know what I mean? So they're not stripping you of everything. We haven't seen anything that's like, oh, you've been stripped of everything. Like when we come to Vuros, we don't know if Samus loses everything. Like, yeah, she got obviously she got hit by the blast, but everything, everything there was hit. So it's like if she lost her abilities, I feel like then shouldn't the space pirates and and even the Federation soldiers all be dead basically because Samus is so strong. I'm like if the blast hurt her enough to lose all those abilities, I feel like they should be turned to mush. I'm just saying like it would be a bad day for everybody. So I don't know how it's gonna go, but it is interesting, that there's gonna be these moments of us planning how to attack this situation, because we trying to get back home. People want to get back home to their families. People want to just be back where they know where is. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, Vuros ain't it. Nobody look at this ain't it. Nobody wants to be here with sand creatures trying to eat us and all of this. Look at that. Look at that. That damn possessed by that's the other thing. We got goddamn these Metroids everywhere. So now you got Metroids possessing, you know, characters and bosses like we've been seeing. It's crazy. They could possess you. So why would they want to be here? There is nothing nice here. It seems like on Vuros, everything is trying to take you out. And while that makes for a very fun video game, it doesn't actually make for a good time when you actually in it. You know what I'm saying? You're like, nah, this ain't. Look at these creatures. Like, yo, this is crazy. This is insane. You got to think about like what's the situation with food. How long do they have to even survive out here? You know what I mean? Does this planet even have things to allow human, humanoid creatures, I guess you would call us, to survive on this planet? Like, who knows? Like, who knows? But yeah, it's awesome that they still got they still have the marriage of the organic and the technology. That's what, Alien did. That's what Metroid always does. And I love that. I love that. Absolutely love that. Yeah, but this damn artifact is interesting. Like, you know what I feel like? If there is a ocarina style like checkpoint, I feel that we haven't seen in this and on the other side of it, I think it will be the artifact where it's like, yeah, they failed, and Silex got the artifact and he used it. Now he coming out of that pod and he about to be beast mode Silex. It's crazy because like a part of me wants it to deal with time so bad that I mean when I say deal with time so bad, not like just like, oh yeah, we went back in time, that's it. No, I mean like jump through time and things like that, so that it's like we can get a really fight. It's like, man, it's been so long. I remember saying like, oh yeah, we don't need one, a few years after Metroid Prime 3. But now it's like I want to see what y'all would do with all this power and everything. I want to see what y'all would do. Fighting really, you know what I mean? And I wonder how they're gonna tie everything into Prime. because I've always spoken on Prime. Like they chose to attach that baggage and call the next FPA Metroid game Metroid Prime 4. They never had to do that. I actually was saying I hope they don't do that. Especially for reasons like what actually happened this year, where they didn't release 2 and 3. You know what I mean? And now there's people, just getting whiplash because they played Prime 1 and they're like, yo, this is like insane. And whiplash in a good way. Like there's people who are absolutely loving it. It's like, yo, this is bigger, better, and crazier than anything I've ever seen. Whoa, this is exciting. Like I'm so happy Nintendo's making this super giant, AAA experience. And then there's others who just, don't jive with the opera of it all. But yeah, I just want to say, and I know I shouldn't even, say this because I'm just gonna hear it more and more in the comments. But shout out to everybody who subscribed to the channel. Y'all made this last 2 weeks, last month, the last week, literally the most successful week of this channel's history. I appreciate that so much. All the comments is awesome. And yeah, with that comes obviously, I guess, more scrutiny, you know what I mean? And I just listen, I don't care. Say whatever you want. You know what I mean? Say, oh, you're not a Metroid fan, whatever. Sure. Yeah. The guy who loves all the Metroid games isn't the Metroid fan, but the ones who's holding on to what Metroid was, 30, 40 years ago, y'all are the real Metroid. Like, it's so weird. I've tried not to take nothing away from anyone who considers themselves a fan of this IP. But anyone hoping for this thing to die, I'm sorry. You're not a fan. That is just what it is. And any fan who actually says, nah, they're still fans. No, they not. No, they not. Like, that's weird. That's like saying somebody still love you even though they want you going. Like, what? That makes no sense to me. In what world? You know what I mean? But I am so sick and tired. Because it almost feels like it's like AI bots. Just always with the word. I ain't never heard the word slop so much in my life. Oh, this game is slop. Slop. It's like shut up. Shut up. You got the wrong word. The word is slap. This game is going to slap. At least you're going to have to bring that back because, yeah, slap. Like y'all just attach the words and then, and just want to just consistently say them over and over and over like they mean anything. I just see that and I'm like, you saying nothing. You got nothing. Because the fact of the matter is, and I'll be generous in saying anyone on either side of this game is going to be good or this game is going to be bad don't know a damn thing because nobody has played beyond the tutorial. The tutorial. Yeah, you've seen the start screen for a demo for the thing that contains the tutorial. You don't even know the real start screen to this game. There could be a hard mode right from the start. You don't know. We know nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much like intricacies to judging the game that the fact that this game is being judged already, like it's an experience that's been out there for years and people got to, dissect everything, play it multiple times and be like, you know what? My assessment of the game is this, that boss, that, this place wasn't enough, and then say, yeah, I didn't like it. But before that, it's like, nah, it's bad just because of these little things. Look, I ain't gonna harp on that. I'm not trying to do that no more. I don't care about y'all. You're gonna be mad about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond being the thing. You're gonna be mad on the other side of it being the most successful Metroid game of all time. It is what it is. Because this is nothing new to the IP. We've been doing this. We've been seeing Samus mingling with hunters, fighting weird space aliens, and having, echo versions of herself. All that stuff. We've seen this forever. Metroid has been this forever. You're not gonna try to gaslight the actual fans now to be like, nah, you a bad fan because you like all of this cool shit that more than likely is gonna be happening in this game. Because from the footage, look, before we saw the overview trailer, before we saw the few ads from Japan and stuff, right? We was all like, man, where's the new, where's the this? We wanted to see more. Then we got it, right? And then people like, now, obviously they got mad because characters and things like that. But yo, everybody else is like super happy. Like, yo, we got to see the game. It looks amazing. It looks crazy. It looks, exactly like what we wanted it to look like, to feel like. Like it looks like this giant epic space opera. I'm so excited to play this. And giant air quotes, fans are mad at people for being excited about a game that they haven't played. You see how weird that is? This is what I'm telling you. Like, yo, it ain't really real. And it's gonna be even funnier when it's a success. You gotta understand, there's people still to this day, but their voices is just quiet because, well, 40 million, 30 million, 20 million sales will do that. But there was people who always used to act like everything was trash that wasn't Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time, which are basically damn near echoes of each other, like 2D, 3D versions of each other. In the same way Super and Prime is. And I get that era. And I get, oh, you was a kid. And I get that you grow up in nostalgia. Nostalgia is a crazy trap. You know what I'm saying? That'll keep you thinking like, yeah, all the things from back then was better back in my day. And it's because you tie it to all these moments. Look, I ain't trying to be a therapist here or dissect this no more. Listen, I'm just saying, this game is going to come out. And I truly do believe it's going to be great. And I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Hell, you could be watching this right now and reviews coming out saying it's the worst thing ever. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I'm still, no matter what, full steam ahead. I promise you that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to play it for myself. Why? Because it's hard to trust anyone when already what's happened with previews based off nothing, when it's like, oh no, the game is good, the game is great, but the whole conversation, let's make it about this one character, let's chop up footage and make it about this one character. Let's now start saying, oh, and I don't mean them, the people who played, I mean now the audience is you got people in the audience saying, yeah, it's trash, because that's what I took away from these previews, because, well, the way they were pretty much done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how, how do you take these reviewers serious when it's like, if you coming in with the whole, this is not what it's supposed to be, I already don't like this. Like, yeah, so it's like, I really don't care to hear your review. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude from IGN, they might as well. Like, I don't watch IGN, but I did watch this because it's Metroid. I said, I'm watching everything. Yeah, that dude might as well, if that's the guy reviewing, they might as well not even pay attention to that. I don't care what he give it, whether it's good or bad. Because it's just like, just the whole way of like, this character's the worst thing. I'm like, no, it's not. I play mad video games with dialogue in it. And I've never seen people act like this acting that's actually really solid. Really solid. Like, quality of one of the best games of this year. You know what I'm saying? Doom, sure. But I would say even better than that. So I would put it to another one of the best games of the year. Split Fiction is of that quality. What we've seen so far. The only thing that doesn't actually make it as good as that is that, well, like Donkey Kong, like Zelda, Samus don't say nothing. And at this point, I'm tired of that. I've been tired of that. I've been saying that. You know what I'm saying? I would rather her just speak. I heard Samus speak in other M, and it was bad. And because the acting delivery was bad, I'm not saying the actress is a bad actress. I'm saying what was done with the game, the direction that was given was bad, right? No, I don't think anyone would say it was good, but yeah, it was bad. I would prefer you not to coward behind that and get in front of that. I thought other M, would have hurt literally Sakamoto from being like, yeah, I'm not doing it. But he did it. And he did it in a classy way. And you can say, oh yeah, but it wasn't, English. It was Sammy speaking. It was Sammy speaking. Then do this. This is what I would do. Then I would have her speak, right? I don't understand it. You don't understand it. But the AI inside of the Federation soldier, he understands it. So even if we never actually hear her speak English in the game, we just hear alien gibberish, but they respond like they understand it, almost like Star Wars when goddamn robots and they're like, oh, word, yeah, all right, let's do that. Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, I remember being a little kid, like, they just understand her. That's so cool. I want to know robot language. If that's what we're doing, then that's what we're doing. But I'd rather you do that than her just be staring. The death stare. It's like, yeah, there's nothing there. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm just saying that's one of my things. See, I can criticize the game before it comes out, but I'm not sitting here crying like it's the worst thing in the world. No, it's just one aspect of a game. It's like in Zelda. I still enjoy the Zelda story, the delivery of it, even though it's chopped up. Go find it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would prefer it to not be that, but I still enjoy it. It didn't take nothing away from it. Breath of the Wild is still literally one of my favorite games of all time, and Tears. You know what I'm saying? Just, I like Breath of the Wild a little bit more. You know what I mean? And it's not because, oh, it's the first one, it's the first impression. No, because Tears of the Kingdom does a lot of things better. But it has building in it. So that's automatically going to get docked. You know what I'm saying? Like, I played a little Fortnite when it had building, but I was like, I don't like that. Then I played it more when it had no building, zero build. It became better. And there's a lot more people who played it after that. There's a reason for that. Because building ain't that fun for a lot of people. Some people love it though. Shout out to all the Minecraft fans out there and all that. Shout out to, I get it. People love it. Mario Maker, they like building levels. Shout out to y'all. Some people really don't care for it. But yeah, this game got some kind of you could consider like a not a building element, I guess. I mean, it's like a creation element, right? With your psychic abilities, you could highlight platforms, but then you can't even use the platforms. It's like, yo, you got an ability that highlights the ability, and you can't even use it. And it's like, what? That's crazy. Yeah, because you need psychic boots. Like, wait, so we could get psychic, like everything, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause it's not just like, oh, she got the gem, so now she's fully psychic. Everyone, nah, you need your psychic hand, you need your psychic boots. She got psychic knees. You know what I'm saying? Like, be running around doing V triggers. Listen, Samus, who knows? Like psychic cannon. You know what I'm saying? Now her cannon could uppercut like in Dread. Who knows? I'm not saying that's gonna be in the game, but again, we don't. I don't even think we've seen every ability that she's gonna have. We definitely haven't seen every boss. We definitely haven't seen every room, location, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? There's so much to see. And while I was hoping, oh yeah, I wanted to see more and more and more. Back in E3 season, back around June, July. You know what I'm saying? And now we so close to the launch, and I'm like, I'm actually grateful, as a fan of the game, that it feels like, yeah, we really don't know nothing going into this game, but it looks so interesting. You know what I mean? You can't look at that flying that I was gonna say creature, but that flying creature, flying ship, and not imagine Star Fox team there, Sam. It's like, would that really be awful to you because Samus should be alone? Because I would, what I'd accept it, but yo, that's mad crazy. But Smash Brothers okay? Oh, but that's a different thing. Listen, it could be a different thing. That's why spin-offs exist. You know what I'm saying? Why Mario can get 50,000 spin-offs, but Star Fox and Metroid and Punch Out can't? You know what I'm saying? I've been told y'all. I want my damn Punch Out side scroll and beat 'em up. Where is it? Where is it? You know what I mean? With boss fights that are like classic Punch Out. That'll be a mad fun game. But whatever, I'll just keep always throwing it in, into podcasts all the time, hoping that it happens one day, so that when it does, I'm like, yo, right, look, that's that thing that you wanted. Just like my co-op online Star Fox I did. Which, by the way, I went back and I found that, and I might upload that, at some point, maybe. If y'all want to see it, let me know in the comments. But I mean, you can find it. It's on the channel. But I didn't even realize this is years before anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even realize that I named that idea Star Fox Beyond. That was the name of that segment on the podcast, which was hilarious to me. And yeah, that was awesome because, I did a whole like deep dive on the Star Fox series on how we'll, go about the characters and everything, generations and all that. It was awesome. But anyway, Metroid, man, that moment right there. Let me go back to that real quick. That moment, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. One of my most exciting moments out of everything we seen. This guy's awesome. Let me just say that. Look at him. Come on. Look just like, what was his name? What was it? Kane? Well, no, Kane was the thing they used to take. I don't remember his name from RoboCop 2, but yeah, it reminds me of the villain. If you know, you know. All right, so this guy seems like he's gonna be the. I feel like, how would I label him? Like the Falco of the group, almost like he's a sniper. It seems so. He's kind of probably already, a loner anyway. So he's probably just like, I'm trying to get back to my family. Like he feels like he's gonna be the most stern of them all. I feel, he just has a vibe to him. That's him right there. But yeah, the scene I'm most excited for is this one, like her coming up on Samus, and I love it because you see the Metroid level design all around these beautiful cinematics, and her just looking at Samus like that is literally what I would do if I saw Samus. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo. And we all would. Even if, listen, if it was a movie and they made a statue and you was going into the theater and there was a statue, you would sit there and take pictures with it. But yet somehow, some way, them being, groupies, right? Geeking out for Samus, it's about to get real nerdy in here, yo. Samus is literally in front of you in a red suit. You understand what this character is to this universe, man? Listen, I can't wait to see this moment, this whole interaction, and that's why it would make it more exciting if I knew Samus was actually gonna speak back to her and say something. You know what I mean? But I don't think that'll be the case. I think she's gonna go down real quick, and then they're gonna have to run, and I think they get separated because clearly that lady can't turn into a mothball. There's always gonna be, I think, things like that that's gonna separate you from them. And then you probably got to come back together. And then, oh yeah, let's help her open doors because clearly you can see there's sections where Samus is not only gonna be with one Federation soldier. Look, I said one, and there's one here. You know, and this right here. This is what I'm saying. Like this is the Metroid game with the best imagery. Period. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me otherwise. I mean, show me the other ones. I've seen everything, everything. Nothing touches this. But yeah, that damn, I don't even know where that moment is at when they open the doors. But that moment is sick. Like having that teamwork, man. It's cool as hell. Mackenzie. Oh yeah, right here. This right here, like I could only imagine is it like what other things are gonna be like this. Because this could be something where, all right, you open this, now you open the door, because it's something that they clearly can't do. They need Samus Aran for that, right? And by the way, I spotted her face now multiple times, because I was always trying to spot her face in the gameplay. And so far, it's the best character model of her. And one of the gameplays, when they open the map, you can see her face. And I was like, man, that's awesome. Look at this imagery. Come on. Come on. This, again, it's just them coming out of the walls. They're coming out of the walls. When they say that as a nod to Alien, that's gonna make this game the most Alien-like Metroid game. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. Look at them coming out of the walls. They coming out of the walls. Come on, Big Mouse. That scene right there too. I can't lie. I can't lie. That one right there. Like yo, the Federation looks so cool in this game. How you could love Star Wars and like stormtroopers and then try to hate on the Federation, which I feel like the Federation soldiers look cooler, if not just as cool as stormtroopers. We just been seeing stormtroopers longer, you know. So obviously we got that nostalgia, you know, for them. But they're cool as hell. I think they're just as cool as stormtroopers. And stormtroopers got better too, as you know, the series will know. Maybe the movies didn't get better, but the way they looked, the different versions was really cool. Yeah, but this scene right here, you know, those look like the two. See, those are the fodder. I feel like those. I feel like there's a version of this cinematic maybe that if you don't save one of them, there's only gonna be one of them there. You know what I mean? Or maybe neither of them not. But I think those will be the fodder for sure in cinematics to get eaten by a boss. And it's like, yeah, you know, you made it all the way here. You could, but the thing is also, I want Samus to save him because I don't want Samus to fail. You know what I'm saying? As a hero, like I want her, and I know she can't save everybody, and she shouldn't. She definitely shouldn't. And those two right there, those are, if you play Gears of War, you already know those are your Karmans. The Karmans, if you play them, you know what happens. They always go bye bye. That's basically their thing. And I think those two right there, yeah, yeah. Look, Mackenzie's even looking at them like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna make it. And yeah, when these things is coming out of the ground, right? You know, people make the joke, oh, this is gonna be the joke of, you know, a character saying, they're right behind me, aren't they? I'm like, what if they do that? And it's really coming out of the darkness. Like, would it be so awful? Oh, it's cheesy. I mean, you gotta have that cheese on sci-fi. All of them do. You look at everything from the original Predator. Like there's so many memeable things in these movies. You know what I'm saying? There's always those elements from the Xenomorph hug and Alien One. Like if you're a fan of these things, you know, man, you know exactly what it is. You know, you can't just go around killing people. Like that was always hilarious from from Terminator 2. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so weird, you know what I mean? That people, and not only that, all those things have moments of levity, of jokes from even like the villains and everything. Like the T-1000 has some I mean, it was dark, but it was kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? He has some moments in that movie. And yeah, I don't know. Like this is why it's like I just look at it as a fan of all these things, all these different sci-fi things, and it's like, yeah, I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to play this game. And it's coming out at the perfect time. You know what I'm saying? You got all this good stuff, sci-fi stuff happening at this very moment. You know what I'm saying? Like Stranger Things, Predator, Avatar. There's a lot of things happening right now. A lot going on. And yeah, Metroid being in the mix as a fan of this genre. Oh man, yeah, I'm eating right now. It's amazing. It's amazing. And yeah, I like me personally. Like I said, I was gonna do this, and I just wanted to speak on the game, just talk, just give my final thoughts really before the game actually releases. And I just want to say, like, I don't even want to like theorize about nothing no more. Like watching this, because I mean, I feel like I've discussed every aspect of this game except once I saw this overview trailer. I was like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I don't really want to theorize of what's happening here, what's happening there. Like now, I want to experience it. This is the trailer I wanted. This is the hype I wanted to feel, from a trailer going into the game. This is the kind of trailer to me that like the elements that I wanted to see in the Metroid game to get me excited about playing the Metroid game. I'm always excited about playing the Metroid game, but like super excited. Like this lived up to the 20-year wait for me, to get a sequel to the greatest trilogy in my opinion of all time, and potentially start a brand new trilogy with this. I really want to see though how, like I was saying earlier, it probably got derailed. How the prime of it all that I'll theorize a bit about. Like the game is named Prime, so I feel like the last thing I want to speak on is that. Screw the Metroid. We've seen Metroids in here, and I'm calling them Metroids because, I mean, if they're calling them Metroids and they're Metroids, I'm not gonna call them Mocktroids because there's a lot. We've been seeing Mocktroids a whole lot. Space Pirate's been creating Metroids forever. So what's a Metroid? What's a Mocktroid? You know what I mean? So I'm just calling them Metroids now. And yeah, the payoff of the arch rival. Come on, the lone hunter. So they took the word bounty off because they was like, yo, she ain't doing it for the money of it all, which I like. The lone hunter is cool. The lone hunter Sam is there, but she's not alone. Now, yeah, uh, yeah, the prime. Screw the Metroid, screw the Beyond. Let's focus on the prime right now and the four. The prime and the four. How? Like we literally went to Planet Phase. Spoilers, it don't matter. You need them. You probably need them. If you didn't play the game, you ain't really got a way to play them right now. You know what I'm saying? So we had Phase on for multiple games. We were literally seeing things get corrupted by Phase on, and then we were in a planet that was fully Phase on in Phase. That game is so good. We went to the Space Pirate home and all that. So damn good. Anyway, yeah, we went to Phase and we destroyed it completely. Completely. So if you're gonna call this game Metroid Prime, it's real difficult to understand how we gonna get to that. Because it's Prime Metroid Prime, the actual boss of the game, or it's Prime Phazon. And I think as a fandom, I literally in the comments, yo, let me know what you think. Like, is the Prime Metroid Prime or is it Phazon? And does that mean that with all the time stuff that's going to happen, maybe Silex, and I've said this before, maybe his goal is, or maybe he's the catalyst for everything that happened on Talon. You get what I'm saying? And Phazon and everything. Maybe that was part of what he does with this artifact. Who knows? Maybe we lose in this game. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, like in that way, and while we think we won, we lose in that, he accomplished his mission, and maybe we're in a goddamn time loop, and maybe this version of Samus figures that out, right? And then it's like, yeah, so now in this trilogy, we got to break the goddamn loop that Silex has created with this Phazon thing, with this Metroid Prime thing, because it's crazy, He, matter of fact, Silex done turned himself into Metroid Prime. So he's Silex Prime. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Are we gonna get Silex Prime, which is the Prime in the title? That's honestly the most interesting thing for me with this game because I was so adamant, like, yo, don't call it Prime, don't call it Prime 4, don't call it Prime 4. Just do, you could just start anew and just grab people. They don't gotta feel like they gotta play 1, 2, and 3. Please don't call it 4. And then they called it 4, and I was like, damn. So now the reason gotta be good. But not only that, they should have definitely released 2 and 3. They should, and not that they should have. They still should. They still definitely should. Like if this game does well, there's no reason for them to not be like, oh yeah, we're gonna drop some DLC, and then after that, be like, oh, here comes 2 and 3, and that can coincide maybe with another DLC or something like that. Who knows? Like, but it's a decision that was made, and you could think like, oh yeah, it ain't that big of a deal, but it is because you know that there's definitely baggage that comes with a number in the name of a game because you're automatically telling the audience when they see it, oh, that's part 3. Oh, so that been around. So if I miss 1 and 2, I'm either if it has to look so good that you're like, hold on, wait, I might want to play this. I might get 1 and 2, or you might just be like, oh yeah, I missed it. I missed the wave on that. That's just a thing, and ignore it completely. Like if you see it, let's say on any of these shows, a video game, whether it's a PlayStation, Game Awards, Xbox, Nintendo Direct, like any show, and you see a number, oh yeah, oh, here comes Dynasty Warriors 12, you know what I mean? Final Fantasy 34. People are like, yo, so none of them was final, like, but it's like, yo, where do I jump in? And it's like, nah, this is a good jumping in point because nothing is attached. And it's like, yeah, so just drop the numbers. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, but for the main line and for nostalgia reasons, it's like I don't know, what good is doing you to keep. I think by the time you up there with the, oh yeah, we at 6, 7, just stop. I even said that about PlayStation. I was like, I don't even think like PlayStation. All right, we gonna go PlayStation 5, 6, 7. It's like at some point, it's like the number gonna get so high. It's like, damn, you really gonna be rocking your PlayStation 20? Which is weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel. Anyway, like, I'm not saying go and be dumb and go Xbox One because that was the stupidest thing in life. But you know what I mean? But anything, I look. I guess I'm one of the ones who liked GameCube and Dreamcast and Saturn, you know what I'm saying? And words like Genesis and even Ultra 64. And you know what? At the end of the day, I didn't even hate the name Wii. So who am I? Is it don't take my opinion on console naming at all. I'm the one who won the Super Nintendo Switch. And clearly Nintendo Switch 2 is working wonders. Which I said it would. I said it had to be one of the two. But I was saying me, as dinosaur and a fan and nostalgic reason, because again, nostalgia could be a hell of a drug. I'm like, yo, call it Super Nintendo Switch. It's right there. It's right there. But we all knew, yeah, but Nintendo Switch 2 is literally the better name. And yeah, they went for the better, safer name. But yeah, Metroid, man. Metroid. I hope that the name doesn't cause it to be baggage. I hope Nintendo's decision to not drop Metroid Prime, 1 on December 1st, and Prime 2 on December 2nd, and Prime 3 on December 3rd, all on the Nintendo eShop right before Metroid Prime 4 is a mistake. It's a mistake. It's sad, that they didn't drop those games, I feel, though, because I feel like they should have just redid the trilogy, just remastered the whole trilogy. And I know that probably would have took a lot, but you knew you was making this for years. They should have had somebody doing that for years. There was plenty of time. There's no excuses, I feel. You know what I'm saying? There's literally no excuse. Listen, there's literally no excuse when you did one and didn't do the others. It's just disrespectful. And I know some people are like, yeah, that's because it's the only real Metroid game. And I'm like, enjoy yourself. Like, over and over again. You know what I mean? Enjoy Magmar again and Talon, over and over and over. Fendrana over the fields. Yeah, I know. I was there day one on every single, well, not remastered because, yeah, Amazon messed up my order. But still, on every Prime game, day one. You know what I mean? And every re-release of Metroid Prime, day one. I own that game every single time they released it. Even the digital version on Wii U. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, yeah, I want more. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't want to rewatch the same thing. It's like the people who sat there and just was hating on Prey. I'm like, cool. This is the best thing that happened to Predator since probably the first movie, but I'm very fond of Predator 2. So I'm going to say since Predator 2. You get what I'm saying? So this is amazing. And then it's like, look where we going to go with it. We're going to be doing all this other stuff with it. Great. And they're like, oh, nah, the first one is still just the first one, the first one, the first. All right, then go watch it over and over. Like I don't understand. Like, so things should just stay stagnant. It's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely wild to me. But it didn't. Nothing's still stagnant. We got crazy, crazy ass Metroid goodness happening in Metroid Prime 4. And this is about to be experienced finally. We are so close. I'm about to wrap this up, y'all. Let me just think. Do I got any final things to say being this close to the release of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond? I'm gonna just say this game is gonna slap, y'all. This game is gonna slap. This game is gonna slap. Uh, I'm make that. I'm about to make that the thumbnail. Yo, I can't believe it. We here. Like being in the single digits, being at the end of November, being this close to the beginning of December. It's crazy. It's crazy. I know some of us even thought at one point, man, this game might not even make it this year. And it's gonna make it. And now you know what I hope? That it makes all of the money. And then we get DLC. I don't even want the Prime 5. Let's go all in right away. No, no, take your time. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Look at what Avatar is doing right now, that game. That game came out, it was very well received. And now they did all this. I mean, they did multiple DLCs for it, and then they did all this work to make it, a third person experience. And they got DLC now to coincide with the movie. Fantastic, I think, lifespan for that game. Like if you bought that game, you bought a hell of a package. And I would like Metroid to beat. I'm not saying make it into a third person. I mean, there is a lot of third person in here more than any other Metroid game, but nah, I'm just saying like DLC and just to keep it going before we get to the next game. Because if the next game is gonna take goddamn 6 years to make, I'd rather just get a few side adventures with Samus. Oh yeah, here's this very isolating, nothing, no story needed, just gameplay adventure. Oh, here's this DLC that is just a cave that's really like those caves in Twilight Princess where you just floors and floors of waves and waves of enemies. So it's a basically like a horde mode, wave mode. If you fighting enemies and then bosses and things like that. Yeah, do that. Turn that into a DLC. Like I would love that stuff like that in this game for sure. I know some of y'all already saying multiplayer. Like, bro, I mean, you preaching to the choir. But I don't know if that's gonna happen. I think that'll be something for the future. You know what I mean? For the potential expansion of the IP and say, oh yeah, this developer is gonna make a spin-off thing again, and we're gonna try something with Metroid again. The worst thing to me is like, oh yeah, Federation Force happened, so for the rest of eternity, like they should never, ever, ever try to do that thing that was not received in the best way. Like I've always said that I wanted another Wind Waker like Zelda game, and I don't mean Wind Waker like as in like I don't know what that means. I mean literally another Wind Waker. What Spirit Tracks was on handheld and Phantom Hourglass. I wanted full that graphical style was so good, and it was like I felt like because of all of the hater guy, it got relegated to handheld, and so we never got to see a game as. Do you know what Wind Waker HD looks like on the Wii U? It's so beautiful, that game. It's so unique looking. And even games that attempt to match that art style don't reach it. Bloom and all. It's stunning. Stunning to look at. But anyway, DLC for Metroid would be great. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if there's something where like when the game ends, one of these soldiers is maybe left behind. So then it's like, yeah, that's a DLC. You got to go back and save them specifically. So it was like, not basically unfinished business. And it would be crazy if they made that DLC where you actually play a bit as a Federation soldier, you right, and you alone and everything, and things is getting crazy, and then you play as Samus finally, and you're coming in, and then y'all meeting, and you save that Federation soldier. That would be sick too. There's so much fun stuff they could do like that. People just have to be open to the idea of a lot of variety in the elements that we love of this IP. Because yeah, this is an IP that you could take a single element and extract it and say, all right, you know what, a mothball, we can make a whole game with that. No, you can't, but they did. And pinball was great, and it was difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like Sonic was pinball too. Like it's okay to do pinball. Like it wasn't the end of the world. And nobody complained back then. People actually bought it. We was excited. Pinball was the game that actually it either came with or it launched around the time that Nintendo brought Rumble to handhelds. You had the little cartridge that you would put in the DS, and right in a DS or a Game Boy, whatever it was. I remember in that game had Rumble and everything, so it was really a really cool experience. Like that's something that should be up on the Nintendo Switch Online, Metroid Pinball. Like you could take the Spider Ball elements and be like, yeah, yo, make a whole game that's just a bunch of puzzles of that. Like I would play a mobile game that was like Metroid, but it was just Spider Ball puzzles, and you just doing stuff like what? That's mad fun to me. Like there's a lot of potential there, but expansion for certain IPs is difficult when the audience limits what the IP could be and talk about the only thing it could be, should be, needs to be, and if it ain't, it's the worst thing in the world. Well, Metroid's about to take a massive swing again, and Nintendo actually took the time to greenlight this game for us, to make this game for us. And now, hopefully, they made a game that we will like, and then it's on us to actually go out there and pick it up, support it. And I'm not talking about people who already made up their mind and they don't like it. I ain't worried about you. Like, screw a lot. You know what I'm saying? All I know is screw a lot. I'm talking about the people who know that the game ain't gonna be slap, that it's gonna slap. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, yeah, like I think we are gonna show up, and Metroid is gonna have its moment right now. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely gonna have its moment, and it's such a weird thing that it feels like going into this after all the wait, after all the talk of people want another style, a prime style game that it feels like a lot of people are hoping for this game not to do well. And it's sad because this is the IP more than any other IP in my entire existence of playing video games. Yeah, this includes everything. PlayStation, Xbox, PC, everything that I've played that I've loved from everyone, every third party manufacturer, everything. This was always the IP that I always wanted to be bigger, to do more. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, the fact that Nintendo clearly has always had that feeling too. Like this is our sci-fi baby. We gonna give it a shot. We always gonna throw a big bag behind it in order to make something special. Because Dread felt like a very special 2D experience, and it felt like a giant AAA experience to me, and it was worth the goddamn $60. This feels like it's worth the price of admission. And yeah, I'm just happy, man. I'm happy that it happened. No matter what happens now, I'm just happy that we got Metroid Prime 4. I'm happy that I got to feel the way I'm feeling right now, going into this game. Before I hear any other narrators from reviewers or anything like that, which I'm not really even focused on that. I'm not one who focuses on Metacritic and things like that. You'll learn that if you're a new subscriber around here. Like that's not something that I ever really cared about or things like that. So yeah, Metroid Prime 4, y'all. It's time. It's time. I can't believe it. I'm so happy. I'm so damn happy. So yeah, hit up them comment sections and just let me know, yo. Let me know how y'all feeling. How y'all feeling at this moment. I don't care what your feelings are. Let me know what you feel. You this close to a brand new Metroid game. If you call yourself a Metroid fan, how are you feeling? Good, bad, I don't care. I want to know. And make sure you screw attack that like button. Screw attack that subscribe button. Screw attack that hype button. Break through that hype button like that damn enemy just did. Woo. Yeah, man. Like, do all of that good stuff. And thank y'all so much. Shout out to each and every one of y'all who recently subscribed. Shout out to my longtime supporters, my patron. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And yeah, I see y'all on, the Metroid Prime 4 mission. Not the next mission, the Metroid Prime 4 mission. We are about to start the mission. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all on the other side. Peace. Peace. It's crazy. It's crazy.